So I had to really make a decision. Do I call my parents and tell them I'm sorry?
Right.
Or do I call the ambulance?
Oh my God.
Or do I call my boyfriend? Like a ding dong, I called my boyfriend. We can laugh about it now because I'm here.
You made it, thank God.
He came over, saw me on the floor gasping for air, and he said, you're getting what you deserve.
Wow.
And he took my dog and left.
Thank you. I know you're busy.
Thank you for having me. You know, for you, I'm going to make room.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're just special like that. From the first time we met, I think you were doing, it was on one of the floors here, and it was a meet and greet.
Oh yeah, was that the first time we met?
I think that was our first time, and there was a connection right away. So if you need me, you call.
God bless you.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. Well, I've been looking forward to this, and I just want to ask you right off the bat, what are you most excited about right now?
Oh my God.
That you're working on or that you're involved in?
Well, I just launched my internet radio station.
And it's called?
Aspired Radio NYC.
Aspired Radio NYC.
Yeah, so now I have the television network, Aspired Living Network TV, and Aspired Radio. And I'm excited about it because it just gives me another opportunity to reach the masses and give peace.
How do we find it? What's the...
you can go to aspiredradioNYC.com.
Excellent.
Yes.
And you just literally started?
I did, Monday.
Is this a daily? Is it weekly?
I come on daily, 11 to 3,
wow.
but it's 24/7 of programming.
God. Oh my God.
So there's music. There'll be other people coming on teaching.
Wow.
I want it to be like the television network where it's a place where people can come and be built up and feel encouraged and inspired, get the peace that they need, and then get out there and do what they have to do.
Get back to work.
Get back to work.
So like a recharge experience.
It is. That's what I'm hoping.
So for the people listening.
Yes.
And then you have guests on, or you have...
I have guests in my show. I interview. But the rest of the time, it's different music and teachings from different pastors.
Wow.
Yeah. It's a variety. I don't want you to get just caught up on just music. I want to give I do a 1-minute power word where I just come in for a minute and encourage, and then we go back to the music.
Wow, you're such a giver.
Oh, I don't think I can help it. There are times when I'm like, Liz, enough is enough.
Why? Because you need to take care of yourself, you mean? You're working too hard?
How do you know?
How do you take care of yourself?
I try to go to Florida once a month.
I was going to ask you now if you travel. Okay, so do you have a base? You have a hideaway?
Tampa, okay. I go to Clearwater Beach.
Okay.
And I just kind of chill out for a week. I wish it was a month. But I'm a caregiver to both of my parents.
And they're there?
No, they're here in New Jersey.
Okay, so you're taking care of family.
Yeah, I have aides that come and help them, but for the most part, I got to make sure everything's just right for them.
Wow. I mean, where did it start? Like let's say this, how would you describe what you've been doing and how you've been showing up for the last decade, let's say? Just in terms of this chunk of your life. This is a golden period. You've got your whole, experience till now.
Yeah.
You're showing up in all these different aspects.
Yeah.
What would you say you're most happy about, proud about, that you've been involved in the last 5-10 years that's meaningful for you?
It's hard to pick one. I help with St. Jude and knowing that I've raised thousands and hundreds of thousands of dollars to help the hospital.
Right.
I mean, the parents never get a bill.
God.
Ever.
Wow.
They're put up in housing. They're fed. The medication, nothing. They pay for nothing. And I've been there several times, and it's just amazing. So to be able to give to that, and just my own efforts, it could be just talking to somebody who's depressed.
Yeah.
And I've been able to make a difference and let them know that there's hope.
Mm.
And that's enough for them to keep going.
Hope is a good word for you, I feel. Like I think you must give a lot of people hope. That's like, would you say that's your brand, your ministry brand?
You know what? You just named it. Yeah, I would think so. You know, being on the radio during COVID, I can't tell you how many listeners called and said, it's because I was able to hear you that I was able to make it through. And that's how the television network was birthed, because they wanted more. And I was like, I can't give you more. And then more came.
More came.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So you really are like sunshine.
Oh.
You look like sunshine. You sound like sunshine.
On a cloudy day when it's cold.
Outside.
Got the month of
We
May.
got Liz Black.
Yeah.
When it's cold outside. So, all right. Okay, so you're born and raised in New York. Where?
Yes.
Where in New York?
In the Bronx.
Born and raised in the Bronx.
Yeah.
Was it steady, like a one location, or were you moving around like I was?
Well, first of all, I was almost born on a New York ferry.
Okay. Wow. So mom was like bursting at the seams
She
and got home just in time?
bursting 2 months early. I came. I had to get out here. I had things to do.
Oh my God, that fits.
2 months early, premature. At that time, a lot of preemies didn't survive. But I'm grateful. I survived. I'm here. I've got purpose.
You burst on through.
Mm-hmm. So we lived in the Bronx, and I think I was 3 years old, and my dad's like, okay, we're gonna move out of here. He didn't want to stay in the Bronx. He didn't think it was a place to raise his daughter. So we moved to New Jersey. It was nice having a backyard, and
It's the Garden State.
it was the Garden
A lot of people
State.
beat up on Jersey, but man,
I love Jersey.
it's a beautiful state.
I'm a Jersey girl.
You're a Jersey girl.
Yeah.
So born in the Bronx, raised in Jersey.
Yes.
So-
Yes. 3 years old, we moved to
Whereabouts?
New Jersey.
Whereabouts?
The Bergen County
Bergen
area.
County, yeah.
Yeah, close to New York.
Okay, so then from there you go to Jersey. Now you say you go to Garden.
Yeah.
All of a sudden you go to Garden.
Yes.
And I heard that you did some cool things in your garden. You ran some talent. Is that where you started honing in on your talent skills?
I started charging people to come in the backyard, and I did shows for them.
Now, some people sell lemonade. You're selling shows.
I did shows.
How old were you when you started that?
Oh my gosh. I probably maybe 6. And I had my cousin. I had her join in. My sister.
How old was your cousin?
Oh, she's a year younger than me. My sister was like 1.
So you had your sister and your cousin.
And
you're the leader.
I'm the leader. And I put wigs on them. And I had them sing.
What did they sing?
Back then, I think they were singing something about sunshine. You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. Yeah, they did that. And then I hosted it. What did I know?
So, okay, draw me the picture. So what kind of, is it like a garden? Like how big's your garden?
It was the backyard. It had a nice big tree. And I remember there was a tire. And I would just swing on this tire for hours and hours. But I brought chairs outside from the kitchen. And I placed it outside for those that would come. And I invited the neighbors, and I charged them 25 cents.
So, okay, how about the invitational process? So you're like...
House to house.
You're knocking on... Did you make some little...
No, I just said, hi, I'm having
sold it?
Yeah, I sold it.
What was it? I'm having a
little party at the house. We're going to sing for you, and it's only 25. Can you believe it?
No, it's amazing.
I haven't thought about this in such a long time. 25 cents.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I hosted for the elementary school. I mean, it could have even been kindergarten. I have a picture of me and a young man, and we're hosting. So purpose was established.
Young.
Very young.
So what did parents say about it?
Well, my mom always wanted to be in the entertainment industry.
Oh, really? So she was kind of...
She would sing, and...
Did she join in your show?
I didn't really remember inviting her.
Were your parents... Were they even there when you're shuffling the chairs outside?
I think my mom was outside. My dad was probably at work.
Were they... I mean, is this...
Yeah.
The whole neighborhood was invited. So everybody knew Liz Black.
Yeah, the neighbors came. I think we had about probably 6 or 7 people. So I didn't do so bad at 25 cents. I think I gave my cousin and my sister a little something.
A little cut. So what do you do with the profits?
The ice cream man came and ice cream man. Yeah.
That's fantastic.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's great. I mean, even the top entertainers, I don't know how many have that kind of a story. But you hear this. So people who are born for it, they find it young.
Yeah.
But you're not just sharing talent. You got the organization, the salesmanship, producer. You're a producer.
Know what? You are. I'm sitting here thinking about all this. I haven't thought about this in years. And as you are saying what you're saying, I'm like, God, you put all this together.
Well, I'm sitting here listening. You're the one that put it all together.
But hearing you talk to me,
it's helpful,
like,
right? Yeah, it's helpful. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm actually more encouraged than I was when I came in. Just
to be here?
Yeah, but the conversation of the purpose that God has for me.
Yes.
Yeah.
It helps me too, right? It helps.
Yeah.
To hear it through another, right? Bouncing. Do you have a book? Working on a book?
I've been working on it for 7 years and I need to just get it together.
Do you enjoy that? Do you enjoy it? Or does it feel like something you have to do?
I think there's still layers that I needed, and I hope that's not an excuse. But I feel like there's something else bigger. So I started writing the chapters, the titles of the chapters.
Sort of an outline.
Yes, because everywhere I go, every church I'm at, someone says, Liz, where's your book? That book should have been out. And I'm like,
okay. So I'm kind of hitting a nerve with this question.
You are hitting a nerve and it's hurting. And
right? Just after I built you up and you're getting, now
just deflated me.
Because it's natural, right? You've got these, the reason I ask is because you seem stimulated by re-encapsulating your backyard producer moment. But these are the stories people want to hear in the book.
I didn't even have that as a chapter.
There you go. So that's why. So don't be depressed. This is me like bouncing back and saying,
Thank you.
There.
Yeah. Because now they can have an understanding of
where the
how
rest went.
Where I got, where I am.
I came out 2 months early, and as soon as I could walk, talk, and sell, I'm hosting my first events in my backyard.
For 25 cents.
Making profit.
That was a bargain, though.
Okay, so then, I guess. I mean, 25 cents, I'm sure it was worth something.
Yes. It was really a great show.
Do you have any recordings?
No, just some pictures.
You do have photos?
Yeah, I have some photos.
So you could guide Netflix on the first, the reenactment. When it comes after your book comes out.
You think it's coming?
Yeah,
you feel that? Okay, I'm with it.
Well, let's go next.
At least get the
I just
book.
like following the story. So, so what happens next? You go through school. I know early on you start modeling, but how's that? What's that trajectory like? Are you staying in Jersey?
And I'm traveling into the city on auditions.
Why?
Because this is where my manager had me running.
Well, how did you meet your manager? How did that?
I met her. Wow, somebody introduced me to her, and actually her name was Shirley Grant. She passed recently. She discovered the Jonas Brothers. Yeah, she also managed Keisha McKnight, I believe, from the Cosby Show. Wow. She was one of the best child managers.
Her name again?
Shirley Graham.
Shirley Graham.
Yeah, so she was my manager, and I went on audition after audition.
Do you remember how you met?
Someone had told me about her, and I made the call.
So you're what? How old were you?
I had just come out of high school, 18.
Okay.
But I still looked young enough for her to send me out for 15 and 16-year-olds. So I was with her for a nice stretch, even though I, was getting older.
Wow.
Yes.
18's old in that world?
Well, it was, yeah. For her, and she only did kids. So she she was able to keep me till like 23, 24. But her calls were for younger and up to 21.
What was that experience, that journey, the modeling?
It was challenging because you would arrive in a room and everyone looked like you.
Right, because they're looking for a certain...
Yes. So
everyone's
I'm in a
young
room,
and beautiful
yes,
and perfect for the part.
Yes.
And how do you stand out?
Yeah.
So how did you stand out?
I just could only be myself and give them me.
That's good.
I can't say that was enough. I didn't book a whole lot, but it was an experience. Because I can look on TV now and see those that were on auditions with me that
you
really
can still see them in the industry.
Yeah. Now I still do. I do background work and stuff like that. But I have to say, I'm not unhappy with how things went. I did get some commercials, and I still go out for commercials now. It was definitely a challenge.
What would you say you learned? What
that I have to be happy with me, not to compare myself with anyone else,
right?
And that I can only bring my best, and that's
beautiful at a young age.
That's all I could do.
That's kind of, I would say, I would imagine very unique, right? Somebody clearly from a young age, you want to perform, you want to be out there, you want to host. It's interesting also. That's really interesting. You're not. I think a lot of people in the industry enjoy the aspect of showing what they can be and getting that stimulant, that response from the audience. Mm-hmm. But the desire to host is a different thing. You have to be more concerned about the participant's experience, not just how it gratifies you as a performer, but you're more in the mindset of how is this going to be a great experience for you?
Setting the atmosphere.
The environment, the atmosphere. Mm-hmm. And then you're telling me that in your modeling, you're starting off in this modeling career. Now, you would imagine most people, they're looking for exposure, right? Looking to be picked up and willing, as we've heard so many stories, you're going to be willing to do whatever it takes. Mm-hmm. But I asked you, how do you stand out? And you said, what else can I do but be me? I've heard people take decades to get to that. Yeah. So how do you, was it how your parents raised, how did Liz Black at a young age safeguard herself against trying to be something she's not? Well,
I may have wanted to feel that I was good enough, but it wasn't until I had an encounter with God later on that I realized that I was good enough. So I think in my head, I was telling myself I was good enough, but I wasn't booking the jobs. And that to me was saying, am I good enough? So it was kind of like one side is you're good enough and the other side is, but you're not good enough. Mm-hmm. And it wasn't until I really think I got to a place where I was not happy with myself. Mm. And that's when it led to me doing drugs and for many, many years.
What age range are we talking here?
Well, I was in the industry. Well, I got saved in 1990.
Okay.
So I would say it really started in 19 heavily. Mm-hmm. So it was a 10-year run.
Was it, so you're getting into that life, was it something you decided, to hell with it, I'm just gonna, or was it a slow progression of just influence from peers? Or
yeah, it was a slow progression from friends from high school,
right,
and elementary school.
Right.
So it started out was, hey, let's just, smoke some weed.
Right.
Yeah, okay, that's fine. But then it was like, okay, let's smoke some weed and let's put some cocaine in it.
Right.
And then it was like, let's just forget about the weed and just do the cocaine.
What? Yeah. So then for years. And then, so what happened? Like why do you think it happened? So you're connecting that to also having an experience with God.
Yes.
So you're saying that, there was something missing that you were feeling.
It was, I was missing, I think I hadn't been in church in 9 years.
When you, as a child, your family went to church?
Yeah. My mom, she searched for a lot of different religions. Uh-huh. So I went with her in searching or just having to go with her,
Right.
So I really found a place it was a family church, and it was in Englewood, New Jersey, a Baptist church. And one of my neighbors said, I'm going to take you to Sunday school when I take my daughter. I'm going to take you with me as long as your mom says it's okay. And my mom said it's okay.
So she'd pick you up from home?
Yeah, right down the street she lived. So she would pick me up.
You go with her kids?
Yeah. And that's what, I did. And then when we moved from the Englewood area to Westwood, then there was a church right next door to the house. So all the kids from the neighborhood sang on the choir. So I had to be like everybody else and sing on the choir too.
That's great. Yeah.
So that is where I got a foundation, because you are supposed to raise up a child in the way that they're supposed to go.
Yeah.
So even though my mom was searching, I was still taken in by someone else's mom.
That's interesting.
And still taken to church.
Even though mom was not consistent with it, she was kind of constantly looking.
Yes.
But meanwhile, there was an environment where you're kind of cradling through.
Yes.
And that became a foundation for you. So by the time you're 19, 20, 21, 20, so maybe you're telling me that you weren't getting the bookings, so your career wasn't taking off by itself.
No, I was surviving.
You were surviving.
And I was living off of it.
Yeah.
But I was not.
That's an accomplishment.
It was. Back
and that's
then,
a big deal.
It was. But I knew if I booked one commercial, that could be $50,000 to $100,000.
That's big money. It's a big step up from 25 cents.
I've come a long way, baby.
Congratulations. It was in the stars.
Yeah.
This episode of the Peace Starts With Me podcast is brought to you by our merch store. Check it out at peacestartswithme.com/collections. We have apparel and accessories for the whole family, including backpacks, pins, aprons, shirts, baby onesies and bibs, and more. Show your support and go to peacestartswithme.com/collections.
So describe that for me. Like, what was it like? You weren't satisfied. You kind of just gradually getting into this lifestyle.
Yeah.
And then where did it break? What happened when you started? What was your God moment there?
First of all, I got to tell you, it makes you very selfish when you get involved in that. So the people that I was around were friends, but it became a very selfish time. So it got to the point where I didn't feel like I needed them anymore. I knew how to go to New York myself and buy and come home. So I was a loner now. I was a loner. I didn't need anybody. And I got to tell you this experience, because it wasn't until recently that I had to just thank God. I was crying that he protected me even in my stupidity, because I went to a place to buy. You would buzz and they'd let you come up. Well, I was upstairs ready to buy, and the guy that was there took out a camera, and he started trying to take pictures of me. And I'm not thinking anything of it. I'm a model.
So you're used to the camera.
Yes, I'm not thinking anything of it. So now I've gone up here before to this place, right? Never had that situation. I got my stuff and I left. And that was actually the last time, because when I got home, that's when my whole salvation experience happened. But I came home and I did everything that I bought, and it was a lot.
Oh.
And I felt like,
why?
Why did I do it all?
Yeah.
I think I was just tired of
was there
the
something
rat
about
race.
Enough?
Yeah, going into the city, not getting the bookings, different relationships. It was a lot. And I don't think I had enough guidance around me at the time to really help and mentor me.
Right.
I was really just out there on my own.
Were you living alone?
I was living alone, yeah. And the stories. But so I did all of this, and now I'm on the floor because I'm in such pain.
In every way.
And my heart, I've never felt pain in my heart like this before. So I had to really make a decision. Do I call my parents and tell them I'm sorry? Because they've worked so hard, you know?
Right.
Or do I call the ambulance?
Oh my God.
Or do I call my boyfriend? Like a ding dong, I called my boyfriend. We can laugh about it now because I'm here.
You made it, thank God.
He came over, saw me on the floor gasping for air, and he said, you're getting what you deserve.
Wow.
And he took my dog and left.
So he was trying to help you.
He was mad that I didn't share the drugs with him that I did.
You're kidding. Oh, I thought he was like.
No.
Okay.
He wasn't a helper.
He wasn't. Okay.
He wasn't a helper.
All right.
No.
So he was mad that you didn't share the stash.
Yes.
You did everything. You're on the floor gasping for air.
Yeah.
You got that one call.
I got the one call to him.
He shows up but doesn't show up.
Did not show up at all in helping me.
Wow.
So I could have just died on the floor that day after he left. But I dragged myself into the shower and I had a power massage and I let it beat on my chest because it hurt so bad, just thinking about it. And that's when I said, God, I have not been in church in 9 years. I said, I don't even remember everything. I said, but I do remember singing a song, Give Me a Clean Heart. And I said, I feel like this heart is about to give way and you can give me a new one. Oh, I'm about to jump up and scream. And a beam of light came out of the shower head and just like clothed me. It was peace. It was love, all wrapped up, and joy. Which I had never felt like this in my life. And that was my life-changing moment.
Wow.
And I never went back.
How often do you...
I tell my testimony all the time.
Yeah.
All the time. That anytime I get an opportunity, I'm not ashamed of what I've been through because I look at where I'm at now and how God has brought me through. He's raised me up. He's given me an opportunity to be a voice in the community over radio for hundreds of thousands and millions of people.
Yeah. And your testimony gives people hope, right?
It does. I operate in a heart of gratefulness. That everything you see
that's clear.
is because I'm grateful.
So you don't forget it.
Never.
You don't forget.
Never.
What would you attribute it to? The years that you were sliding, what would you attribute that to? I mean, clearly, finding that moment with God started turning things around. We'll get there. But what took you there?
I think how I felt about myself. I thought I'm Liz, this is it, this is what you're getting.
You were confident.
But not booking those jobs gave me another, There's
a disconnect happening. And then it made you think less about yourself or something. Yeah.
And I started, my relationship with certain people in my family devastated me that it wasn't what as nurturing as I wanted it to be. And I still deal with that to this day.
Right.
Still wanting that type of relationship with that person. And I'm able now to rise above it.
Right.
Which is a big deal. I feel confident in myself and who God has made me. I am his workmanship. And that's what I go forward
That's beautiful. Yeah, I mean, the reason I ask is because like we say, okay, there's a period of my life that's, I'm in crime or I'm taking drugs or whatever that period of life of difficulty may be.
Right.
And we can sometimes just get stuck on that aspect, but it's kind of like what's preceding that, what led you that way, what was missing or what thinking. Because especially for people, I mean, it's not just the people who are struggling outwardly in those ways, but what is it that's blocking peace for us? How we think, what our relationships, how we handle ourselves. The medicine you're describing was really like surrendering to God. Now you're living a life of gratitude. Clearly, you're living a life of service for others.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But what preceded those difficult years was
the lack of peace.
Yeah, a lack of peace.
And I was trying to find the peace in the drugs.
Right.
Everything that I was missing, I tried to find it in that.
Trying to find the peace in the drugs, or trying to find the satisfaction through the work. Yeah. But if we're just relying on the work or the food or the drink or the drug or the relationship even, if I'm not connecting to source, if I'm not connecting to God, I've already got a problem.
Exactly.
And then others are showing up insufficient in making me feel better.
Yeah, and that's exactly what happened. And now there's a wholeness. Mm-hmm. I'm whole now. I was broken before.
Yeah.
Now I'm whole, and now I can help others become whole.
So in your life now, do you still see yourself facing those old those old challenges? I'm not talking about the drugs, but like the relational challenges that you had.
No.
Now it's clear.
It's clear. I'm confident. I'm much easier to move on from a situation now than to stay in it.
Right. Okay. How do you do that? Okay. So describe a situation.
Decision. I just make a decision. You know what? This isn't working for me. This isn't helping my life.
I'm guessing there's a lot of people that need to hear this part. Okay. And perhaps women, especially. Right. So give me an example of a situation that you might otherwise stick with because you feel you have to, but instead you take that choice of, no, I don't need to be in it. So
and it could even be a job.
Yeah, job. Yeah, anything.
You're being treated a certain way at a job. And I had this situation, I was in corporate America.
Okay.
And I was being treated a certain way, asked to do additional things, not compensated for my time while others were being compensated. Made me feel a kind of way, didn't feel good.
It's a relational abuse, it's professional abuse.
Yeah, and I had to make a decision. Okay, I need to pay my bills, I need insurance, but I also need my peace of mind more than I need that. And I'm going to trust God that if I step out to do what's best for me, I'm going to be all right.
How do you get that? Because I'm guessing a lot of people are weighing those options and thinking, well, I don't know that I can make it without making sure my bills are covered and all. How do you help us there on that point?
From a natural standpoint, you prepare. Mm-hmm. You may not step off that moment.
You don't just jump off the train as soon as it occurs.
Say, okay, look, I can only take 2 more months of this.
Right.
That means you're going to save 2 months of your salary.
Right. Get some externals in order.
Get something so that if you have to run on your own for 3 months, or say in your mind, look, I'm going to do temp work.
Right.
I will work at, McDonald's. I will work at anywhere I have to.
And keep the water running and the lights on.
That's right. For my peace. Your peace is more important than anything else. And I think that's what I found out.
So, okay, you don't need to walk out the room, slam the door, to hell with it.
No.
You get the natural in order, which surely starts to strengthen you. I'm guessing as soon as you make up your mind and set yourself a date, you're already feeling you're back in control of it.
Yes.
Because that's what's not good, right? When you're in a situation, you feel you're dependent on the situation. You know there's something wrong with it, but you're not the owner of your life and decision. Okay, so you become the owner immediately, right? Mm-hmm. So you set your time, getting yourself in. Now, does this come up a lot? Has this come up a lot for Liz Black?
I do it all the time now, even with people and relationships.
So relationships too.
Yeah.
Give us a relational example. So
okay, because of who I am and what I do, people want to have their artists played on the radio. Yeah. They want to be on concerts. Yeah, they want help. But if I say, all right, well, I'm doing this event, I need you to have your artists come.
Yeah.
There's no budget for this because we're doing this for a homeless shelter.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well, I don't know if I can do that. Well, guess what? I don't know if I can now do what you need. This has to help us both now. And before, I was always just making sure everyone else got helped.
Okay. So that's another lesson you're giving us.
Yes.
Because you're a giver. You're bringing the sunshine. You're living in gratitude and trying to bring hope to the people.
Yes.
But sometimes we can help people, if we allow people to hurt us or go against the contract, whatever that contract is, we're helping them do wrong.
Yeah.
So in a sense, even for their sake, you need to...
Yes. You're accepting the abuse.
You're enabling, they say enabling.
Yeah. And they're taking advantage of you. It's
not
taken
good
me
for
a
them
while.
and it's not good.
No, it's taken me a while to see this, though.
So do you find yourself meeting a lot of people that need that encouragement? I mean, I imagine it's so. I imagine there's a lot of, I don't know what the stats are. I imagine there's a lot of people, right, that are staying in a situation just because either they think they have to or that the alternative's never going to be as good.
Yes. Yes. It's not greener on the other side. You have to take the step. Otherwise, you'll never know. And time is ticking. We don't have time to waste.
I think there's other elements that we're assuming here. You've mentioned God.
Yes.
That's a real thing.
It's very real.
It's a real thing. And a lot of people might try take the kind of self-help elements out of the conversation and apply it. But I think we have to really put a flag in it.
I agree.
To assume that it's going to be this, you're going to apply the same methodology, but without God, it's not.
It's not doable.
It's not doable, guys.
It's not doable. And you'll find you can try. People try, but until you connect with the Most High, that's when you feel I'm in purpose.
Okay, that's the second point I wanted to get to. Because if the purpose is just for me to be in a better situation, I don't like the way they're treating me at my job.
Right.
I want out. Okay, here's my plan. Or I'm not really feeling, nourished in this relationship. I need out. I need out of this contract, whatever. Right. There's a lot of people in this situation. But if I'm just going to carve out my get out plan, centering on what I want for me.
Yes.
Without God and without purpose.
Mm-hmm. You have no direction if
no
you're not.
Purpose. No purpose is no purpose.
You have to consult. You have to have conversation. There's a dialogue where God is letting you know this is the direction or this, just be still right now or move right now. Let me tell you, I was at a job and I wanted to leave. I said, I'm out of here. And every day I had a conversation with God. Today, God, is this the day that I can give my resignation? And I never felt a peace. And this went on for like 3 weeks. And I was like, okay, God, this is it. I'm just doing it today. And then I got a call from HR and they said, please come down to the office. So I came down and they said, we're letting you go. And here's your $32,000 severance package. Had I not been hearing from God, had I not waited to get his peace, I would have lost out on that $32,000.
Right.
Because I would have did what I wanted to do.
Right.
Which was leave. But the timing, that wasn't the timing.
Right. Okay, there's these kinds of examples or proof in a sense that a lot of people get excited about. I think we also need to get excited about even that invisible part because people can think that that's why we do it. It works out better for you.
Yeah.
But that's true. I believe that. Living a life, seeking to live a life with God and purpose, things work out better for you. That's true. But even before those things work out better, it's already better for me right here, right?
In the heart.
You'll take that even without the improvements.
That's right.
You'd take that. That's the thing that maybe a lot of, so I'm just trying to think of those who are listening to this conversation and think, I'm in this, I need to get out. But if you're doing it just for your own sake, you're connected to God, you're doing it for something bigger than yourself. Yeah. Now all of a sudden your purpose is bigger than you.
Yeah, there's a heart change.
There's a different heart change, yeah.
And when you have a heart change, your motives are different. Your thinking is different. And it isn't selfish. Yeah, right, you're not selfish anymore. It's a we go, not an ego.
That's nice.
Let's put it on a t-shirt.
That's exactly what I was thinking. I mean, okay, we got the peace start. Okay.
Yeah, peace starts with me, and it's a we go, not an ego. And that's my thinking now. How can we work together for the better, for the good?
God bless you, Liz.
This episode of the Peace Starts With Me podcast is brought to you by our merch store. Check it out at peacestartswithme.com/collections. We have apparel and accessories for the whole family, including backpacks, pins, aprons, shirts, baby onesies and bibs, and more. Show your support and go to peacestartswithme.com/collections.
I'm really inspired that you're not only a giver, you're a whole ball of sunshine, but that you also are teaching us about, the discernment of when to say no. Even you want to help the situation.
Yeah.
But some things you can't if they're not in it, if they're not connected. I believe also when each of us, no matter how different we are, no matter how diverse our interests and backgrounds, it's the same God, the same heavenly parent, that if we're with that, then that harmony is going to come naturally.
Yes.
There's a lot of people, right? You can get degrees on peace building, but it's all about sort of relational. It's
book knowledge.
It's book knowledge, but I believe God's got that if we're centered.
Yeah.
Not in the particular, if we're stuck in the description of the faith that we're like, that brought us here, that can be limiting, right?
Yes.
But if we're resonating with that energy, and we're all in a process with it.
Yeah.
God knows where we're at with it. But it just requires being in it, and we'll see more and more people coming together. God's got that part, I think.
Wait, can I just tell you how excited I am? This conversation just has encouraged me. I'm just grateful that we can talk about how good God is and being connected with Him and the difference that it makes in your life, the difference that it makes in your family and everything that you do. We want to have life. We want to have it more abundantly. We want to enjoy.
Yes, we
do not want to be upset all the time.
That's right.
We must connect.
I truly believe that we're now living in a time when if we are right with God, it's not any longer a course of tragedy, of martyrdom, of indemnity. That era God's really trying to be done. The prices have been paid. And for those that are willing and ready to stand up and resonate like we're talking, God's going to be able, we've got the foundation for the rest to happen.
Yeah. Take the step.
Meet us at the banquet table,
because it's time to sit and sup.
It feels time, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if people have been saying that for hundreds of years, but I think we're right in
now
saying
it's really the time. I
think so.
People are hurting. People are lost. And what we're doing is letting you know there is a family. Mm-hmm. There is a place where you can feel at home. Mm-hmm. There is you can be loved.
Right. So Mother Moon, the mother of peace, she's you know what she said recently? She said, I dream, and she's 81. And she said, I dream before I die.
Yeah.
That at least half of the planet, if not all 8 billion, she's really praying on 8 billion people. At least half of the planet can know that God is our heavenly parent. God is our heavenly parent. And the element that she's including there is this idea that it's not just a masculine God with a white beard somewhere off distant. It's a parent, which we know, Heavenly Father, but it's heavenly parent. And what you're describing, a family. What is a family without one common parent?
Yeah.
So our kind of mission statement now, our motto now is God's dream, one family.
That's great.
And what we're talking about now, beyond race, beyond religion, beyond whatever country you're in, if you can tap into that ever-growing, ever-deepening resonance with God that saved you in the shower, that light that saved, then it's like heaven's got the rest planned out.
Yeah.
There's a lot of work we got to do.
Yeah.
But the problem is, and what Mother Moon was saying is, we're not going to be able to get any further, as talented as we are. We're not going to get any further with man-centered ideas, with human-centered thinking.
Yeah. Yeah.
We've got skills that we need engineers we need, there's a lot of problems we got to solve in the natural.
Yes.
But how are we going to solve all the problems along the horizontal plane if we're not even connected to the source?
Exactly.
As one family.
And that's why it's so important that we do what we do. Because it's one person at a time.
One person, God bless you. Wow. So you've done a lot of big things that people will know about, right? We've got Stellar Award winner. You're the Radio Personality of the Year. You've received these awards. Women of Excellence Award. The Al Sharpton's National Action Network Auxiliary. And in 2022, you received an honorary doctorate in Christian leadership from the School of the Great Commission. These are just some of your many, many, like, what would you say? Brag points? Bragging rights?
I give God all the glory for them because he shined the light.
So what, there's a lot of people that look up to success but what can you say to us to inspire us? Like, what does it mean for you? How did you do this? How do you do what you do? And how can we learn from you?
My passion is real.
Passion. It's authentic.
It is real.
It's not because you're paid to show up.
No. I do what I do. I have radio shows that I do and I don't even get paid for it. Mm-hmm. It's the fact that I know I'm making a difference in the lives of the people and I'm trusting God to take care of me.
Right. Yep.
So passion is important. I'm committed. I am driven. I push myself, I think, harder than an average person probably pushes themselves. I can't help myself. I wake up
That's the passion.
Pushing.
It's the passion, the purpose, and the feedback loop. How, by the way, how do you get the feedback from the people you're helping? They
call me. There's a number that I give for the listeners, and then they hit me up on social media. I have letters from prisoners. When you get letters and emails where people are saying that you've made a difference in their lives and they didn't commit suicide. I had someone call me one time and he was ready to jump off the George Washington Bridge. I don't have time to call 911.
He called you?
He called me. I got on the air at 1:15 and the phone was ringing before 1:15. And I usually don't answer it. And I did answer it. And he just said, Liz, I needed to hear your voice.
Like he wanted your last voice. He had made up his mind.
He had made up his mind. But the fact that he called me, there was purpose in that call. Because I see him now 20 years later, and he says, Liz, I'm still connected. I'm still here. I sent him to a church.
That's beautiful. You still get that kind of feedback.
Yes.
So you've got God, you've got purpose, you've got passion.
Yes.
You've got discernment.
And
love. You've got the feedback from the result of your investment. That's an important thing.
Yes.
And God wants to claim that victory through you too. So God bless you.
Amen. And I never really look for the return on the investment to hear it, but when I do, it just blesses me.
Got it. Yeah. I think everybody needs that. We are still
human.
We are co-creators. It's good to be human. A good human is. They say like whenever you look at a photograph, what's the first face you look at? What's the first face? When you see a group photograph,
the one smiling.
Okay, now let's say there's a group photo. You're in the photo. It's a family photo or an office party photo.
Right.
And you're in there. What's the first face you usually look at?
My own?
That's right. Everybody first looks at their own face.
Right.
And so, what they say is, well, God's the same. It's like when you're a parent, you like to brag about your kid.
Yes.
And you want to see them and you want to hear people say, oh, he looks like you. No, he looks like me. He looks like my wife looks like. All right.
Right.
So, but it's that same heart. We want it. So human, it's, as much as you want to serve and give, Liz Black, you deserve all the good feedback that you can get. And you deserve to be able to look at your own face and say, hey, yeah, that's me. I'm awesome. I did it. That's okay. That's okay. Let's wrap up on this. Tell me about what you love about your husband.
What do I love? He is one of the smartest men I've ever met. He is so intelligent, and he takes his intelligence and his heart, and it all comes together. And I think that's what, I think that's really what attracted me to him. It had nothing to do with his 6'2" height or his beautiful skin or none of that. It was the fact that his heart and his intelligence. And I was like, wow, this guy is really smart.
So you love to hear him talk?
Yeah, he causes, sometimes smoke will shoot out of my ears. I'm like, that's too much.
I got it.
Yeah, that's too much right there, information. You got to give it to me in pieces. So yeah, he's a historian.
Oh, wow.
In his own right. He's not really one, but in his own
that's
right.
Good. I think we should all be to some degree, right?
Yes.
So he's always got something to say about the topic?
He's got something to say about everything all the time. He received a scholarship to Cornell University, and he had to leave to take care of his father.
Okay, so there's the hard part.
He made a decision. Yeah, he made a decision. Either it's this scholarship at Cornell or care for my ailing dad.
Wow.
And he made that decision. And then he later went back and finished, not to Cornell. He went to HU. I have to say it like he does. And he completed his degree. So he's a financial advisor, has worked on Wall Street, and now he helps individuals because he got tired of helping the big companies and
now he's helping the little guys.
Yeah.
A financial advisor with heart.
You know what? We're getting T-shirts here today. Slogans for T-shirts.
Call this number.
Yes. Ego. No. We go. Yes.
What is it again?
We go, not an ego.
It's we go, not ego.
An ego.
It's we go, not an ego.
What are we going to do with that? Mugs?
I can see it on mugs.
I can too. T-shirts. Peace starts with me because it's a we go, not an ego.
Nice. Okay, peace starts with me. Let's end on this point because this is where we met. This is where we kind of started.
Yes.
And was it 2017? It must have been 2017 because you were helping us run the commercials.
Yes.
I'm pretty sure you were helping us run the commercials for the first one in Madison Square Garden.
Yes.
Wasn't it?
I'm not. Was it Madison Square Garden?
Well, that was the first one. Then I think the next one we did was Nassau.
And the Coliseum.
Yep.
Yeah, it's been several years that I've had a chance to.
But what's it like? Part. You saw a lot of different faces. What's your impression? We got, what's your impression? Peace starts with me, the movement, Mother of Peace. What stood out for you? What stands out for you?
Well, first of all, the excitement of the title of the event.
Right.
Really caused people to say, hold on, I got to be at this event. Peace starts with me. You don't hear that for other big events that's going on. You hear there's a concert.
It's this.
But you don't hear anything that, hey, peace starts with me. The word peace was enough to draw people's attention.
Mm-hmm. Especially when we don't seem to be talking much.
We don't care about people like we used to, at least others.
Yeah.
So it was at a time when people needed peace. There was nothing but turmoil. And to just see the word peace, I think it made people stop. I had a lot of people call me up. Liz, I need to make sure that I'm at this event. Liz, I said, look, go on my website, go on my social media. We're promoting it. Make sure you're there. And I think they had to RSVP in advance, even though it was a free event.
Yeah.
We
need to seat people.
They were shocked.
What was the feedback?
That it was free.
Oh, okay.
That was the first thing. Too good to be free. Too good to be free. Talking about peace. I think I had a chance to talk to some of the people that were on the bus that rode from the event back home. And there was a sense of gratitude that they had and a willingness to want to now extend themselves.
Interesting.
not everybody always wants to jump in and help and be a part.
Right.
But they had now an idea of, I'm going to go back to my church and I'm going to see what I can do to lend a helping hand. And that's kind of what they felt when they left, that now they could make a greater difference than they did when they arrived.
Get out of the back seat.
Drive.
Get into the front seat.
We can all drive and help.
You see where it gets back to what I'm telling you when I did the survey?
Yes.
I met 20 decent people, all from all over the country.
Right.
And, you know, in New York, you got people from some out of country people too.
Yeah.
But they all wanted peace. They all agreed with that.
Yeah.
They can see the problem, and when I asked them to describe the problem, they could describe it.
Right.
But it was always about division. And the solution was always somebody else's responsibility.
Right.
And I asked them, you know, at the end, I started asking them, so if there was like a peace event, would that be something you'd be interested in? Yeah. You know, and what if it was about you? You know?
And the change starting in you. And that's one thing they said. They said, peace starts with me. I never thought about that. I thought peace started with the group. I thought peace started outside.
With
but
the
now
pastor, with the president.
Yeah, if the pastor starts it, then it's going to trickle down to everyone else in the congregation. No, it starts with me. And that's what they left, realizing that they could do more. It empowered them.
It's like a mission and permission.
To step out.
It's permission to do that mission.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's what they needed.
That's so interesting that there's so many people that might feel like handicapped, not able to, right? It's kind of like what we were talking earlier.
Yeah.
Not able to better the situation. So if we're doing it for God and for bigger purpose, your benefit's going to be included in that.
Right.
And you can do it.
You can do it. Now, how many people did we have in there? How many thousands of people?
Oh my God. Well, we did the in-person event. The garden was full. Yeah. The Coliseum was full.
At least 18,000 at the Coliseum. Yeah. So you think it's like you gave everybody a light bulb to now go out and share that light bulb with somebody else.
Kind of like they did with the first flame. You hear these stories about how they don't know how to start it, but once they got it, they carry it.
And they just keep
multiply
sharing.
It.
And
that's a nice
so what you've done is
visual.
If there's 8,000 and each one now makes 18,000, each one makes a difference.
Yeah.
With one additional person. It's multiplication.
I'll tell you a quick story. So my son was doing a gap year program, right? We do this gap year program after high school. They go out for a year. Some of them do like 2 years, and they're out doing service, and sometimes they go do fundraising. And my son was fundraising somewhere in Michigan. He was in a barbershop. And as happens, you know, everybody's at work. You got some young guy coming in asking if you want to buy this or that. And he comes in with they're kind of cool pictures. And he's like, hey, did anybody like, you know, and immediately the lady running the barbershop, no, not interested. She's clipping somebody's hair or, you know, and then not interested. And he's like, well, it's okay. You don't have to buy my product, but can I just tell you why I'm doing it?
Oh.
And he had his thing down because he was doing it with passion. Yes. He wasn't doing it for the program or to raise the money or just to get by.
Right.
But he really was connecting it to somehow steering his life in a certain direction, and this is where it's starting. At least I want you to be a part of it by hearing me out. Can you I just want to. He got so many job offers.
Oh my goodness.
Anyway, this one time in the barbershop, this lady starts listening. You know, the scissors are starting to slow down. She's turning her head. She's starting to listen. And she said, well, who are you with? And he said, well, you know, Family Federation. Have you heard of Generation Peace? Have you heard of the Family Federation? She's like, and then it comes out like, well, you know, and then have you heard of Peace Starts With Me? Oh. He said. And she's like, Peace Starts With Me? Yeah, I know it. I know Peace Starts With Me. Have you heard of Demian Dunkley? She said, have you heard of Demian Dunkley?
No, she didn't.
She did.
He said, that's my dad. Oh my.
He said, yeah, that's my dad. Oh, come here, honey. And she's like, everybody in the shop's got to now buy the picture.
Yeah, everyone's
That's not why he did it though.
No.
He just wanted to connect. He's 18 at the time, whenever he's doing his best. Wow. But that was an example. So when you say 18,000 and the seeds, you know, we did other rallies, other venues, every part of the country. Right. And then when COVID hit, we started doing them online.
Yes, I remember. I was a part of one of the online.
We started doing them online. And this is for everyone to do. But then I guess end of 2020, I was sent to overseas mission, almost 3 years with my family. And we just got back and we're thinking we need to get this party started again.
Get this party started.
Get it started.
Well, I can tell you the difference that you've made in this area because this is the area that I live in.
Yeah.
And the people that went, that Peace Starts With Me is something that resonates and that you can't forget it. You can't you may not remember everything else, but you're going to remember Peace Starts With Me. Yeah.
4 words.
You're going to remember that. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Liz. What's your final, what would you say to all those in the community, those that, have been working to try and spread this message? You have any word of encouragement for us? What would you say?
Don't give up. Don't be discouraged. Continue to push and know that God has got your back.
God and Liz Black's
and
got
Liz
your back.
Black's got your back. You know it.
God bless you. You really are sunshine.
Thank you.
You bring the energy into the room. Doesn't matter if you walk into a room. Don't be fooled. If you walk into a room full of grumpy guys, don't worry. They're just seconds away from turning if you keep that shine coming.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
And I appreciate it. And thanks for having me. This is a big deal for me to get to share.
It's a big deal to invite you and have you here. We're learning from each person that comes through. We're learning so much. And I'm just so grateful that you made time to be a part of this and maybe back again. We'll be seeing each other again.
I hope so.
This time with microphones, but with or without.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
God bless you. Thank you so much.
You too. Thanks.
All right. Peace.
Peace starts with us.